Life was perfect, had a good business, had just built a brand new home, and it seems like you're riding a bike and you're fixing to have something hit your spokes and trip you, and it's just, that morning it stopped and changed my life forever. It was Father's Day, June 19, 2016. My mom showed up to pick the kids up for Sunday school.
And after they left, we were preparing to get ready for church ourselves. And my husband and I were talking when we started hearing sirens, and my husband's cell phone rang and I answered it, and it was my brother-in-law asking us if my mother-in-law had picked up the kids yet.
And he had told her that they were in a bad wreck and he thought all 5 of them were dead. And my wife fell to her knees and started hollering. We live about 500 yards from where the accident occurred. It was at a stop sign. My mom had stopped at the stop sign and a guy fell asleep and came off the road and hit her. And he was in a 1-ton truck and she was in a Nissan Altima. We
ran over to the scene and a policeman stopped us. He proceeded to announce that 3 of the 5 passengers in the car were killed.
Fireman came up and he said, "Your daughter's didn't make it. She didn't make it." And come to find out, Landon and Christian were still alive. So they got them 2 in the helicopter and took off.
One of the firemen's wife, I remember, drove us to Dell Children's. That was the longest ride I have ever known. And because of the internal decapitation, they needed to keep him intubated and sedated until they could repair that. After they explained all the injuries that Landon had endured, all I could do was pray.
Essentially what had happened is the truck ended up on top of him and he was crushed into about a 6-inch opening. So he was really not doing too well. A really good surgical doctor, she came out after Landon surgery and she said that they had done all they could, and she said, "We've sewn him up and we're giving him the best shot," and we all went in the office and prayed for him, and we're hoping that, he will pull through this.
It was a roller coaster ride for a couple of days. One time I remember looking at Landon, talking to him and holding his hand, and I saw a tear run down his eye. That's when I knew he was still with us. It was extremely hard trying to plan a funeral for your daughter while watching your boys struggle to live. Landon, I think the time that I saw where he was going to be okay was when he started getting out of bed. The first day out of bed was very tough for him. He was in a lot of pain, but he was determined, and he's a very strong boy. Once Christian started getting out of bed and doing more therapy, his point was just to get stronger. It was a lot of work, but we knew that through all of his previous challenges, he could get through this one.
By the time the 3rd week rolled around, they were given both of them physical therapy, and then at 3.5 weeks they walked out of the hospital. Landon walked out on a walker and Christian was rolled out in a wheelchair.
We are just glad to see them come to the end of their recovery and happy to get full release from the doctors.
They are just vibrant young boys. Landon's an all-star baseball player, and Christian has excelled, and he's made National Junior Honor Society. Both of them are doing great.
Dell Children's level of care and compassion to the boys exceeded any other I've seen anywhere else. They just really touched our hearts.
I was told there that if he would have taken Landon to university or somewhere in San Antonio, they probably wouldn't have worked on him because his insides were so bad, and he may not be here today if they hadn't went to Dell Children's. I thank them from the bottom of my heart that they were there that day.